first things first, just woke up and I, of course, watched the episode last night at midnight, and I went to bed with happy tears in my eyes, but of course couldn't sleep at all, because how can anyone watch that finale and just put their head down on a pillow and fall asleep afterwards? I mean, if you could, bravo to you, but I was just tossing and turning all night long thinking about it, and of course, going to bed crying doesn't help. For these past video reviews that I've done, I've kind of written more of a script to give myself talking points and make sure I'm not forgetting anything, but this episode, I think, just warrants a raw, more just, genuine outline of what I'm thinking right now. I honestly wanted to film this at 3 a.m. last night because I just couldn't sleep, and I was like, should I just share my thoughts? But I was like, no, because then I would look like The Walking Dead, although I probably kind of still do now. So I wanted to just get up first thing and just sit down and talk about it, share my thoughts, and just, debrief. I'm gonna omit makeup for this video, of course, because I think I might cry it all off for several reasons. I'll show you. This is literally the only thing that I had written in my notes, after watching that episode. So I don't have much to go off of, other than the genuine feeling that watching this it not only exceeded my expectations, but it just didn't feel like real life. There have been so many instances during this season that it just felt like an out-of-body experience, and that just watching the episode, you're in just a dream state, and when the episode is over, it's gonna be gone, and it's gonna just evaporate into the oblivion and not be real. It just didn't feel like real life. You're watching and it just feels like this can't be real. This can't be a real moment. I just didn't feel alive. I felt dead after that episode, but for a good reason, because I was emotionally drained and in disbelief and shock and awe at what had just come on the screen. And again, I'm going into this with no script, so apologies if this video is way more choppy than my other ones. I don't think there's any script that I could type up that would convey how I'm feeling after that, and I'm already crying, and I'm haven't even talked about the incredible parts of this episode, but I'm just crying because I watched that episode, and I'm sure so many of us did, and just think, oh my god, this is why I'm a Star Wars fan. This is why I live waiting for the next, thing of Star Wars. This is why I'm in agony when there's a drought in the Star Wars universe and there's no new Star Wars material. This is the stuff that we live for as fans. What we literally just watched, that is what all Star Wars fans just want to see. That is the most pure and just mind-blowing Star Wars content. I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, I pity anyone who's not a Star Wars fan in this moment, because there is no feeling that can compare to this, to that feeling, to that reaction, to that emotion that we all felt watching that. I pity anyone who has never seen a single Star Wars movie, or, refuses to watch Star Wars because they think they're too cool for it. Alright, I'm getting rambly, so let me try to be more concise with the other aspects of this episode that I enjoyed. For me, one of my favorite things about this episode, and I'm sorry if I cry during this, and this is gonna be so cringe, but during this episode that I realized that half of the amazingness and the epicness of the appearances in this season of these new characters that they're introducing into this show, this context, half of it has been women. It's been girl power. Bo-Katan, Koshka Reeves, Fennec Shand, Cara Dune, watching the four of them, that just that squad, just total bad tearing through stormtroopers like it's nothing as they invaded the ship. It was incredible to watch, and at no point when you're watching that do you feel like, oh, this is all women, there's an agenda here? And not that I ever feel that way, you know, I don't care if there's an agenda in Star Wars. I've explained openly about it, and I have, you know, I welcome more female characters. I'm, you know, as a female Star Wars fan, that was incredible to watch. I debated talking about this because I know it's gonna make me cry and y'all are gonna think I'm so cringe, and I know there's people who are gonna be like, ugh, but as a female Star Wars fan, that was just really great to watch. There was no agenda. It was just this incredible 4-pack of awesome characters, each in their own way. Yeah, it was just them being their characters, being legendary, being amazing, and at no point do you watch it and think, wow, they're trying to like push feminism on us. The girl power in this season was phenomenal, and it was in no way forced upon the audience. And of course, you know, that's partially due to the fact that these are all characters that we know and love from, you know, their previous shows and their other, you know, the animated context. But that being said, they're still incredible characters, and at no point watching this episode was I like, oh wow, like, it's all girls. Like, I had that realization, but initially you're just watching it like, oh wow, look at these bad and they also all happen to be women. And for me, that was just, as a female Star Wars fan, that was amazing to watch. And I'm gonna stop talking about that because I know that this is gonna come off as so cringe, but I just wanted to say that. But yeah, to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, thank you for bringing in the girl power and giving female representation. That is one of the main things that I loved about this episode and that I was not expecting. I had predictions that Bo-Katan was probably gonna come back because she and Mando are now searching for the same thing. So I'm like, well, why would they introduce Bo-Katan, who's clearly looking for Moff Gideon, and then have Mando himself go out and hunt for Moff Gideon and not reincorporate Bo-Katan? I just wasn't expecting to see this total awesome 4-pack of boss female characters, poning stormtroopers. Giancarlo Esposito in this show, I said before that I thought he was criminally underused in this show in its entirety, and you know, both season 1 and season 2, because he's an incredible performer, just an incredible antagonist in anything he does where he's the bad guy. But his presence here in the finale did not disappoint, and his performance was amazing. Like, watching him wield the dark saber like that, of course I don't want him to have it, but still watching him in action, just totally like just hardcore dark saber dueling, and Mando with the Beskar staff. Oh my gosh, that was an incredible scene. And of course that, like, this whole episode with that and with the dark troopers and just with Gideon and Mando finally, like, going at it, like, it's like this is the stuff that you foreshadow and predict and hope you get to see on screen after watching, like, the season 1 finale. And so watching this episode, this finale, it was like, yes, like, this is what I wanted to see after season 1. Like, this is the stuff that you look forward to, and it came, like, it all happened, like, it all came true. Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito's performance and his kind of, you know, manipulative acting in that scene was incredible. Of course you can't trust him. Like, as soon as he was like, oh yeah, sure, just take Grogu, it's fine, get out of here. Like, you knew he was lying, but that entire time my heart was just pounding and I was just praying that he wasn't gonna do anything to baby Grogu. I was just like, please get that darksaber away from baby, like, get it away. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would ever do that to us and put us through that kind of trauma, but for a split second I was like, oh my god, what if he kills Grogu right now, where, like, her saber does something with the darksaber? Like, I can't. Yeah, I mean, my heart was pretty much pounding throughout this entire episode. Definitely saw that it was only, you know, when we logged into Disney Plus and saw that it was only like 42 minutes or 46 minutes or something like that, I was like, ugh, I wanted it to be an hour. Like, I'm greedy. I just wanted, like, just an hour long finale. And as I had said before, after reviewing episode 7, I was like, well, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a kind of 2-part finale type vibe as there was with season 1, where, the last 2 episodes felt like you could just put them together and it would be one long finale. And so I was worried about that. I was like, all right, well, they have a lot to wrap up in this final episode. Like, there's a lot that needs to get done and they have to do it within 45 minutes. So I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh my gosh. There was definitely a lot happening in this episode, and that would potentially be my only complaint because there is so much going on, and it's like by the time we even got to the end, I had totally even forgotten that there was still a potential Jedi coming to save Grogu. There was so much going on leading up to that had just been wiped from my mind. There was so much else happening with the dark saber, and then Bo-Katan versus Mando, and it's like, oh my god, what's she gonna do to him? So much action in this episode. The action was incredible. The stunt choreography was incredible. Watching, Fennec Shand and Bo-Katan and Cara Dune and Koshka Reeves tear stormtroopers apart, but there was so much action and so much going on that I was just like, oh my god, how are they gonna wrap this up? I had totally forgotten that there was still a Jedi maybe gonna show up, and I will just admit right now, you guys know my predictions suck. But yeah, if you attended my most recent live stream, you will have heard me go on a rant that it probably wasn't going to be Luke Skywalker that came to get Grogu, because that would just be super ambitious, and there's no way they would just ever do that. I just didn't think they were gonna do that. I didn't think, I just thought it would be too ambitious, and I just was like, are they just gonna play it safe and not worry about, potentially not getting this right and not making this perfect if they bring in one of the most iconic characters, Luke Skywalker, as fitting as it is with the timeline and as appropriate as it is. He is, of course, the first choice of Jedi at this point in time that would come to get Grogu, but I just didn't think they were gonna take that risk, but holy crap, they did. This is just why I'm so excited for the future of Star Wars with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni at the helm, because they are not afraid to take risks. They are fans, they know what the fans want to see, and they are clearly willing to go to any length possible and use all of the technology accessible to them possible to make it happen and deliver the content that the fans want to see. I really was just in disbelief. Even after we saw the green lightsaber, I was like, what if they fake us out? What if it's not him? Because I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think they were gonna take the risk. I thought it was too ambitious to pull off, but the technology, the facial technology, I don't even know where to start, but I just didn't realize that it could be this good. Whoever was involved, however they did that, shout out to the technologically gifted people behind it, who were able to make that happen. I thought it was a body double. I thought it was an actor who looked exactly like Mark Hamill. That had to be the biggest kept secret. What blows my mind even more is they've had this written out. This has been in the works. They have known about this because they have written this and planned for this. They've been walking on this earth with us and just knowing Luke Skywalker is coming in 2020, while we're all just oblivious thinking, oh, maybe it's Ezra, maybe it's Cal Kestis, they're like, no, think again. We've just been y'all just need to wait. Y'all just need to be patient, because Luke is gonna come back, and he's gonna come back the way that he should, as proper Luke Skywalker. I think we can all agree this was just an out-of-body experience as Star Wars fans, and, I especially really didn't think that they were gonna do it, and I was just in just total shock and disbelief. My heart was pounding, my jaw was dropped, I was crying, but then crying even more when Grogu and Mando parted ways. oh my god, I'm such a baby, but that really, like, I wasn't expecting. You know, the title of the episode is The Rescue, and so I assumed that, like, oh yes, Mando gets Grogu back and they're gonna live happily ever after. Like, wasn't expecting that, they were gonna part ways, so soon, and I'm just really sad, that, you know, they're not together anymore. I'm also just sad because it means we're not gonna see baby Grogu as much. I wasn't prepared for that, and to see, I'm such a sympathetic crier, so like, when Mando took his helmet off and he was crying. This episode was just an emotional roller coaster. There was so much action, so much going on. Freaking Luke Skywalker, the legend, showing up, that I just wasn't ready. Like, we had already gone through so many emotions of excitement and fear and praying that nothing happens to Grogu, and then shock and awe and amazingness as Mark Hamill rolls in, and then Mando and baby Grogu having to say goodbye together. Like, by that point, I was just like, I can't emotionally handle this. But yeah, I mean, of course, I knew that had to happen. The whole premise of this season and this show in general has been, okay, finding out what to do with baby Grogu, and, you know, returning him to a Jedi, hopefully, so that he can properly train, and of course, you know, it makes sense that it would be Luke Skywalker during this point in time. And of course Luke Skywalker is like the best person possible that he could go with, but it's like, I'm happy that he's going with literal Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, but I was not ready to see them say goodbye. The tide of the show is like changing now. It's like, okay, it's not gonna be, you know, Grogu by Mando's side now. It's like, alright, he's going off, he's growing up, he's doing his own thing. Oh my god, I'm gonna stop, guys. I'm literally so sorry. My only complaint is that it kind of all felt like so much was going on at once, like, Mando versus Bo-Katan, you know, Moff Gideon, like, causing all that drama, Moff Gideon shooting Bo-Katan and Mando, and then Luke Skywalker showing up, and then the Dark Troopers, and then Mando and Grogu saying goodbye. Like, so much was happening. I just couldn't even breathe. It didn't feel real. It felt like an ethereal experience. Like, I think they did a great job of wrapping everything up, you know, the conflict at hand and everything, and planting the seeds for season 3. I'm also just, like, again, so emotional. I went to bed with, like, happy tears in my eyes, because this is, like, some of the most amazing thing in Star Wars that I've ever watched, and wasn't prepared for, wasn't expecting at all. I think the tide is turning with the future of Star Wars, and with the future of Star Wars television series like this. You know, the frickin' 10 shows that they announced that we're gonna be getting in the near future, like in the next few years. That's why I went to bed, you know, like crying happy tears, because this is like the best time ever to be a Star Wars fan, if you ask me. I think the future of Star Wars is so bright with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni at the helm. This was incredible. This finale did not disappoint. This finale was everything and more, and y'all know I had said, you know, this finale needs to be impressive to top up what has been an impressive season, you know, just an incredible season leading up to all of this, and this was just the perfect, I can't. It's just my raw, genuine, still crying, phase of, you know, digesting this episode. Normally I watch it through twice and then write out a whole script of points that I want to make sure I touch on, but I just really wanted to share how I'm feeling and how grateful I am to be alive during all of this right now. Even though it doesn't feel real, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the dream team, and they can never split up. They have to be together forever and making Star Wars content forever. This show has tied in so perfectly with the heartbeat of Star Wars, and, you know, how Star Wars makes you feel as a fan watching it. This season was certainly amazing in just every way, shape, and form. Hair and makeup, the costuming, the set design, the technology, the CGI, the music. Ludwig Göransson, you're amazing. You are literally a saint. You are literally like the most amazing human being ever. This show would be nothing without you. Just happy tears. And I'm just so grateful to be a Star Wars fan right now. And I'm just so glad that Luke Skywalker came back in a way that he deserves. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for, you know, sticking with me and watching all of my reviews throughout this season. I've really enjoyed, you know, sharing my thoughts with each episode. Maybe I'll do a season review if that wouldn't be too redundant, you know, with all the context of my other reviews. Let me know if you'd want to see just my overall thoughts on the season. Sorry that I cried in this, but again, it's just happy tears, happy, joyous tears to be alive and to be a Star Wars fan. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm really excited to hear everyone else's opinions on this episode, this awesome, incredible finale. So let me know what you thought and if you know, predicted if it was gonna be Luke Skywalker or if you were just as dumbfounded and in shock as I was. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing so well as always. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe as always. This is the way. May the Force be with you guys always, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.